this year we had a large number of homicides, and we're not done. The year's still going. Hopefully, God willing, we won't have any more. But we have to recognize that that something is wrong. To me, it's not a crime issue. It's a society issue. It's a social issue. And we looked at every type of angle on what is going on. Why are these occurring? How can we prevent them? We asked for assistance from the FBI to help us come in and evaluate our community to determine why these homicides were occurring. FBI can't tell you. We asked them, they said, we don't do that. You can't come in and say this is why there's more homicides unless they're all gang related and you have a gang war. That's easy to do. What FBI does is they profile serial killers and can say this is the type of person you need to be looking for. We found that a large majority, and I mean a majority, almost all of the people that were suspects in the homicides were unemployed. A lot of the victims were unemployed. A lot of the calls, all but one that we can prove right now, were someone that was associated to someone else. There was an acquaintance, or there was some knowledge of this person with each other. They weren't random killings. Alcohol more often was involved. Domestic violence was involved. So you can see that there were some societal issues involved, some social issues involved. We went as far as trying to find out what religion they were in and what type of work they had done, where they were brought up. Again, it comes back to something occurring that tells that person it's okay to take a human life. I don't know what the answer is, but I know that we've addressed them. I tell you, one of the issues that we've had because of our staffing, and this is a great opportunity for me to apologize to the citizens for maybe some of them when they call in, we have a 3-hour response time if it's a non-emergency call. We prioritize our calls, and if you call in and say, my car got broke into, and I don't have any suspects, but it happened last night, that's not a priority call. It is a priority call to that citizen, obviously to the victim, but it's not a priority call when we're looking at other calls that involve life or death. And so our response times to some of those non-priority calls has been quite lengthy. That's improved. We had so many homicides that we went through an enormous amount of overtime in a very, very short time. My annual budget is approximately $400,000 in overtime a year. We were in the first 6 months already over that. And so I will project that by the end of this budget year, we will probably have spent double. We'll probably be closer to $800,000 in overtime. Hopefully that we will eliminate some of that as time progresses. We've made some major shifts in our department, some that weren't popular. We have worked 410s, which is where the officers work 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts, for many, many years. Many, many years now. Which is not always a great way to staff. It's not the most efficient way, especially when you're hurting. I had to make the decision when we lost a large amount of officers to federal agencies to go to 5/8. I can tell you that was probably the most unpopular decision in the eyes of the officers that I have ever made. And I upset a lot of them. And I upset the way they were used to for the last almost 19, 18 years that we've been on 410s. But I recognized that I could almost double the amount of officers on the street if I went to 5/8 and left 410s. Now we will get back to 410s. Our staffing levels are getting back up where we can go back to 410s and go back and still be efficient. I would anticipate spring of next year we will be back at 410s. But that has hurt morale. That's created some problems for us, and it's been a difficult decision for this administration, but we recognize the needs of the community. And I've said it before, sometimes the best decisions aren't always the most popular decisions, but I was elected to make those tough decisions, and the officers, I think, they understood. They weren't happy. But when they showed up the next day, the first day of 5/8, and there's 16 officers standing there instead of 6 officers, they realize how much more efficient the 5/8 could be.